So welcome everyone to our new moon solar eclipse evening. It's such a blessing to be able to be here with everyone in the midst of this, what I feel like is this resounding song energy that's moving through the planet, this sense of light that's rippling through the fields of light. And we are that light. We are those songs being sung tonight, and being here to come here to this beautiful Loving Waters call, which is simply, this growing community of water advocates, water beloveds. And Elizabeth is going to share a little bit about Loving Waters, and then we'll open the call. We'll just dive in with a beautiful attunement for tonight's call. And we'll invite, just checking in to see if Julie, if you're there, do you want to open with a resonance after Elizabeth shares?
Sure, I was going to do the still water meditation.
Oh, perfect. See, that's
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So welcome everyone. My name is Shelley Darling, and I'm with Elizabeth here in Maine and Poland Springs with this beautiful primal water spring that we came to visit here for this coming week. So Elizabeth, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay. Yeah, we just came from the spring, and there was such a almost translucence, a shimmering of reality that was pretty fascinating. You could smell the difference in the air, and so I'd like to just bring us all to hold that. I want to thank everybody for coming, for following that impulse and heating your heart as it pumps the water through your body. We, as Shelley said, are a growing community of water advocates, water angels, water lovers, water guardians, water beloveds, water faithful, coming together, uniting in remembrance, a remembering of our primary sacred relationship as water is life, life is water. And our shared collective intention is to celebrate our one living, loving water as the source of all life above, upon our Mother Earth, Gaia, and to globally encourage the simple acts of giving gratitude to our water through ceremonies and blessings, recognizing this as a significant pathway to the healing and reconciliation of the planet and all beings on it. So each month we gather locally in our own communities on the full moon in water gratitude gatherings and blessings, and to really honor our own watersheds and to connect in this gratitude as individuals, families, friends, and community, to receive and give the blessings of the water. And then on the new moon, we do this call so that we can really connect the water guardians around the planet and build a network of honoring and support and power in this collective community. And there's much water wisdom that arises from this connecting and gathering, arising in the resonance of our collective heart. So we invite you to keep coming and explore with us what we discover, and to really hold yourself as a fellow water guardian, as heralds for the 7 generations and beyond, so that our children's children's grandchildren's grandchildren may thrive on this incredible planet. I'm going to bring us in with some magic bells.
Just before we open with Julie's still water meditation, just to understand, this call is a full participatory call. We open the call for you to share your expression, your love of water, maybe what's moving from tonight's and today's evolutionary movement of the celestial skies, the planet, Sirius, the sun, and to share your watershed. And as we get into the call, we love to share our water practices. So this is just a great opportunity to make visible your heart, as Elizabeth was sharing. So with that, we just pass this beautiful water crystalline talking stick to you, Julie. And we invite everyone to put yourself on mute while she's sharing. It helps to keep the line clear. And then when you feel the impulse to share, just take yourself off mute. So with that, there's a mute button at the bottom of your screen, or if you're on the phone, you can press your own mute button. So with that, Julie, we'd love to have you open the waters of our collective.
Thank you. If you have a bottle of water near, could you put a drop of water in your hand, please? And if you don't, imagine the drop of water in your hand. Of Water, Its Power and Purpose by Alec Bartholomew. And I've just found it a very, very special resource for people over time who've investigated water in many different ways, as scientists, Victor Schlumberger, and people who work with water to re-enliven it, as well as Dr. Emoto's work. So it's just a wonderful way for me to deepen my relationship with water through many different initiatives. And the start of the book has this still water meditation, and it really connects us in with the ancientness. The drop that you hold in your hand is part of the water which was the cradle of all life on this planet eons ago. The first rain that splashed down on the hot earth to form the first sea. Each drop in sunlight has risen from the sea in countless ages and fallen to the earth again as rain. The drop that you hold in your hand has been a prism forming myriad rainbows, has travelled underground streams, bubbling through dark caverns. The architect of cathedral caves formed valleys and split granite. The drop that you hold in your hand has flowed down broad rivers, has risen in the sap of trees, has been the sweat of slaves and the tears of children. It has become the foam-topped waves and deep, unfathomable depths of vast, dark lakes and seas. The drop that you hold in your hand has been part of great floods. It has been a dewdrop on a blade of grass, a drop that has been pounded through the hearts of whales in blood and lain in an eagle's egg. It has travelled in the fluid of a poet's brain and dripped from the wounds of the dying. The drop that you hold in your hand has been trapped in the snows of the Arctic, reflected the sun in a desert oasis, and refreshed the weary. This drop, unimaginably old, yet fresh and new, is evaporating slowly from your hand to mingle with the air you breathe, perhaps, or drift in a sun-topped cloud 1,000 feet above the earth. Imagine its journey from your hand. Where will it go? You can direct its journey as it evaporates. Send your consciousness with it. It is the water of life. It is still water. Thank you. Caroline Way.
Really beautiful, thank you. I'd like to invite us while we're holding this water to take a pause for a moment and place your intention into this water as it's evaporating. Place your collective intention in this water for all beings, for all nations. And when you're complete, you can continue to hold it, or you can blow it with your loving breath, the waters of your breath out. So we just opened this call. I just want to apologize. I've been traveling for quite a long time, almost 6 months now. Started in New Zealand, Australia. And right now my computer's very full and needs to be cleaned out, and we're heading home in about a week. So the next call that we have, hopefully there will be less interference with the the capacity of this call. So I just wanted to put that out as a message to the divine as well. So with that, we just open this call and share what's moving. There's always the invitation to bring forth a poem or something you've written, or a song, or a prayer or intention. One of the great things I just want to share that has been happening as of about a month or so ago was on one of our last full moon gatherings. There was this invitation to share our intentions from different areas. As an example, Charlotte Pulver shared her intention for a spring and for the area in London. And Kate will share a little bit about what her intention was. But just when we began to collectively share each other's prayers and songs, and so this is something upcoming on our website as well, to create a page or two for these songs and prayers that we can, and intentions that we can be sharing in our individual, when we host a water ceremony of sorts. So with that, I just open the call, and please feel free to share where you are, what's your watershed, and what's moving for you on this beautiful evening or morning, wherever you are. Anything else, Brad?
It's good for now.
We're good for now. So don't forget, take yourself off mute.
So Maya here, and in the Santa Barbara watershed, and particularly I'm by Carpinteria Creek, a little town south of Santa Barbara, where the creek flows into the ocean part of the year. And I just so love this still water meditation. And when my ceremonial partner, Art, and I led the last full moon water ceremony on 8/8, the Lion's Gate, we had some children in our circle. And hi. And I decided to share by just do something like the still water meditation. I have everyone take water in their hands. And then because there were children, I thought I'll make it, it's such a beautiful poem as it's written, but I thought I'll just do it spontaneously and speak in more children's language. And it was just really fun to see what came out of my mouth and where the waters were. And then at the end, I did invite people to the water that we had blessed in the center of the center altar, invite them to send that water where they wanted, and they spoke it out loud. And the children were just so wonderful. They're very creative in what they come up with. And I can't remember exactly, but we were all laughing and touched in our hearts. So I love the idea of using that water meditation, and sometimes reading it exactly as it is, and other times just letting it be free flowing, and people adding where water shows up in the world. And what Elizabeth spoke in the beginning, Elizabeth, you said the shimmering of reality during the eclipse, or while you were looking at the springs. And I wrote it down because that's exactly what I was feeling during the eclipse, like water, light rippling on water, fluctuating in and out of shadow and light and between dimensions. And it was, for me, very gentle. Both yesterday and today, I felt this incredible peacefulness and gentleness, and kind of a reassurance that whatever times we're going through, the water's going to settle. And I would just like to share, I did share on our council circle meeting, but I would like to share this song that was given to me in the middle of the night, right before the 8/8 Lion's Gate, when I was in a lot of pain at the time and praying for help. And his grandmother came through and gave me just this simple 2-line chant. And it feels to me so appropriate for this time in the eclipse. And I will sing it, but I just say, when I asked after I was singing it for a while what it meant, she said, the 2 lines are this: the water runs with blood now, but soon she will clear. And I felt that, so I just saw this image of this red running in a river. And as it continued to flow over the stones and the rocks, it cleared itself. And I feel that we're in that process now, clearing old karma, clearing to make way for the new world that we're creating. So I will clear my throat and share the chant, the song. And she said it was called the Healing Promise Song, or the End of Suffering Song. Hey, 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 Linaya. Hey, 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 Linaya. Show, show, we pie. Show, show, we pie. Hey, 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 Linaya. Hey, 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 Linaya. Show, show, we buy. Show, show, we buy. Hey, 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 Linaya. Hey, 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 Linaya. Show, show, we buy. Show, show, we buy. The river will clear, the waters will clear. They are clearing. I'm complete. Thank you. Thank you all for showing up today on this magical day.
Thank you, beloved Sister Maya, and all of you that are gathering as guardians of the water. It is my deep honor to sit in this circle of light on this auspicious day of shadow and light. And as I was listening to my sister Maya, I was noticing the dance of shadow and light on your face, and seeing beyond that shadow and light, and seeing that this is an opportunity to see beyond that and see the perfection of all that's unfolding right now. So I'm grateful for your reflection in my life and all of your reflection in this deep desire to be guardians of Gaia's waters. For it has been a deep passion of mine as well, as a water bearer, as a priestess, as an emissary of Gaia, to be a carrier of these codes of remembrance of our oneness with water. In as a priestess of the 13 Moon Mystery School, in invocation to the element of water, and to offer this chalice of the waters of remembrance, so that we may all drink from this chalice in oneness and in celebration of this day, that we truly do step through this portal of the new and recognize and remember our oneness. So I'm going to invite you just to breathe in and to feel that element of water that we are, and to feel that the elements around us supporting us as we call forth this element of water. As we breathe in and feel the one heart breathing this love in, breathing this liquid light in, breathing in this power of her moon power. I am water, memnos. Mem, I am. I hold the power to cleanse, dissolve, sublime. I am the self-conscious intelligence held in elemental resonance. Allow me to serve your awareness. I am the fluid container of feminine consciousness. I hold the power to heal through purifying release. I am the magnetic, vibrational potential of surrender. I am the receptive nature of the goddess. I am the eternal flow of moon power. I am the fluidity, non-fixity, the salt of intuition. I am the sacred chalice of the emotional body. I am the medium of transduction of the magnetic frequencies of the mother. Receive me, for I am water, mem, mother mem, I am. And as I symbolically symbolically hold this chalice, holding the waters of remembrance, I drink with celebration of this remembrance of our oneness. And as we get a kiss of the wind here in Avalon in the foothills of Santa Barbara, the winds of change are blowing, and we are here in celebration of the knowing, the true knowing of this truth. Blessed be. Thank you.
I am very humbled by all of what's been said, and actually the tears are flowing, which they often do, but that's part of the waters that we are. I'm here with Kate, and we're in Plymouth, and tonight we went down to the pier to look at the eclipse, and Kate led us in the water song, and also managed to gather around some of the people that we're here in conference with. So it's been just, I think, an amazing time, and so much is resonating that's come through in this conversation about the balancing of the shadow and the light, and the whole of that as our consciousness, and for me too, it's that choice of love and letting go of fear, and that's what I'm feeling is resonating through this whole togetherness that we're sharing. So I might hand to Kate, because I'd like her to share how she experienced leading the song and the events, which was sort of quite funny in a way.
They were funny. We had a very funny ceremony.
Yeah.
It was so random. And you know, people we bumped into suddenly were there, and they were there too. And I had felt to print out the water blessing at about 2:30 a.m. last night, so I had, you know, papers to give out. And then these teenagers turned up, and they looked at us and sort of tried to mimic us, but I just sort of kept on singing. And then they threw themselves off the top of the promenade they were standing on in front of a big sign saying, "Do not jump here, danger of death," which was over another sign saying "Total eclipse of the sun," which had been put into the stone in 1999.
Yeah.
And so these three teenagers hurled themselves into the sea. I mean, it was happens, and a lot of laughter. And Tracy gave a rune that she'd made, which was the rune of fate, of the weird. I'm not sure you can see that with my wait, maybe you can. No. We'll send it to you afterwards. Yeah. But it is this incredible sigil of Yggdrasil, the world tree. And you made this out of
driftwood. So Julie and Shelley have seen my little rune that I love, but it has 9 lines in it and represents the 9 rivers that are connected to the tree of life. And so now it's my talisman that I take most places. So Kate then was holding this, and
right, it was such a strange situation of water and fire. You know, there was we were very much bringing the water and enjoying the song. I love the song. I love the melody. And these young, crazy teenagers were taking leaps of faith off, and they made it. We saw them swim out again. So that it just feels like they didn't know the eclipse was happening at exactly that time. This happens through us all. And it's just a testament of that. And the recognition of the words that you're all speaking and words we've spoken together this evening, and Tracy's made a beautiful film here that is just of those glittering waters. And me and my daughter stood in front of it transfixed by these beautiful glittering waters. It was the thing that I noticed when I walked into this very big auditorium. So, what a wonderful time. What an intense time. Last new moon, I was in France at the source of the Seine. I never knew that a goddess of a river could come to you through a dream. That's an extraordinary thing.
And I think too about this intentionality, and thank you so much that we're a part of this sort of hands connecting through the waters. I really feel that, in the full moon, it was, I was in Drammen on my own. It was raining and I almost fell in the river trying to get some of the water out. And it was really sort of comical, but at the same time, when I said my small blessing, I knew that there were my friends who were saying the same blessings all over the world. And for me, that's something I carry. I know that there's other people that care about this and can see the possibility for other ways of being. So incredibly grateful. So I might hand over.
Oh, we'll hand it to you.
Yeah, but thank you.
Such gratitude. Thank you.
I just want to give a quick response to the two of you about the laughter and the unexpected. I was listening to Caroline Casey yesterday speaking about the eclipse, but I don't know if you know her, she's an amazing astrologer who has the command of the language. She's the most creative use of language I think I've ever heard anyone spontaneously use. And she spoke about how certainty is a trap. It's a prison, and that the unexpected is what liberates us and evolves us. And so the unexpected leap of faith of the teenagers. And I just quickly share what happened for me this morning. Was right outside my door at 7:30 this morning. This black cat that I live in an artist complex of artist lofts, 2 buildings, and the building opposite, this black cat that befriended me that belongs to my neighbor. Her name is Eclipse, and she gets up to the 2nd floor and usually through a window to get to her owner's house. And she was stuck on this awning and she was crying to get in the window, but the window was closed and she kept crying and we were looking like, is she stuck? And then after a little bit, she did this huge leap across to like a wire mesh on a balcony, clawed onto it, went up over the balcony and went in this other way to the door. And I thought, the way in or the way up isn't always what we expect. And this cat Eclipse on the morning of the eclipse. Anyhow, the coyote nature of spirit. I love it. Thank you for sharing.
Sorry, I just want to add something to you. I've just been at a workshop with it was about what can we do for the future of the earth. And a very special man, and it really comes from, we're no longer on solid ground, standing on what our forefathers could rely on. We have to swim. We have to adapt to new situations constantly. And the old initiations are happening to all of humanity. Before it was just a few special, select few that went through it. Now we're all going through it. So just that sense of the teenagers are meeting the future by diving in. How amazingly, that's what we all have to do. Thank you.
It makes me think, Julie, of the Hopi prophecy where it talks about it's time to let go of the shore and basically look and see who's in the river with you and trust. I had a beautiful experience this morning. I've been traveling to get here since essentially 5 o'clock California time yesterday, and arrived by bus and plane and car. It was a fairly solitary journey. I took the red eye, so the guy sitting next to me, he did not want to talk. And he kind of had a permanent frown. I got on the bus and had a very sweet greeting with the young kid that I sat next to. And eventually I got him to start talking. And he was probably about 23, 24, from Santa Barbara. Had gone to college on the East Coast and was coming up to visit friends. And he was a opera singer, classical voice. And we started talking, and at some point I said something about my life purpose was working with water and remembering the consciousness of water. And he got this really interesting look on his face, and he said, "Talk to me about that." And we spent the rest of the bus ride, talking about what we're talking about on the call now, and really acknowledging for him, I think, things that he has been feeling. And he talked about just recently being in Ireland and standing knee deep in the water and singing, he called it the boatman song, about the heritage of being a boatman and depending on the water for our livelihood, and how the rivers used to be the center of life and the center of civilization, and that people would sing to the river. And it was just so sweet. And he was so receptive to hearing this. And just as I was getting off, he said, "So how can I follow what you're doing? How can I keep up with you?" And I told him about Loving Waters and what we're doing and the calls, and so hopefully he'll follow that impulse and come to it, because it really is that age where they are really connecting to the simple, beautiful truth of what we're opening to ourselves and remembering ourselves. And I think they're a little closer to the magical thinking of childhood that can allow that to flow through their lives. And so, in terms of talking about our water practices, really acknowledging that and just, I guess, taking the dive, taking the leap of faith that the person next to you will understand what we're saying and have a resonance inside of themselves, because we're all water, and water is speaking to all of us if we listen to come into this remembrance. So I want to thank the universe for that experience, and then just being here with Shelley at this incredible spring. And again, thank you all for being here. I love you.
I'm going to just jump in for a minute. And Henry, it's nice to see your face here. I know Henry is got incredible talent with sound, and that's what's coming to me around this experiences. And Kate, I don't know if we missed your song because the internet's kind of going in and out here. So if you didn't sing this song, I hope you will. But I think what's coming to me is and what happened when we finally got here tonight, and I could just feel this energy, and we saw a bit of the eclipse, and I felt like a little bit of a thunderbolt kind of hit me, and I was like, poor Elizabeth, I was like, we have to go to the spring now. And she was like just trying to come out from her rest, and we have to go now. And we drove up to the spring, and a little bit about this particular spring and its song is that it was one of the first spring waters in America. And it was one of the first ones that was finally understood as medicinal and a healing waters. And for over 100 years, it's been revered as that. And of course, now Nestle has its fingers in it, and no comments either way on that one. But just to love them and hope they support the earth in better and better ways. But we went up to the spring, and there was no one there, and it was completely silent, and we just walked in silence to the spring. And the spring now is encased in and in fact you walk up to it and it says 1895, the source. But the magic of the spring right now is that it looks like, oh my God, we can't get into the building, it's all locked up, and they have the spring, encased in a very sterile environment. But if you just walk around the building, there is this place where the spring has sprung, and you can actually see the ground is just soft and moist, and you can put your feet in it, and it's coming up. It's not just for being bottled water now. It's there for us to put our feet in, and Elizabeth and I put our feet in, and it was just this moment of and moments of total silence of just feeling the moisture singing its song through the pores of our skin, and getting the messages of water. And I feel like this is something that Elizabeth talks about a lot, and we all talk about, is just the being receivers of this information, this information that's wanting to come forth, this Gaian expression, and she wants us to receive her. She wants us to move from that love. And the frog, and of course this little frog just pops up, the frog totem, and so I just feel this within the silence is this incredible song, and how water sounds, and how that sound affects our consciousness. And to I feel like Elizabeth and I are here, we have a specific intent, but it's really to listen to her song, listen to her messages. And I feel like this portal that we've come through, this new moon portal, the Lion's Gate, and now this solar eclipse, solar eclipse, so the solar logos, this movement of moving through. And it's interesting that someone else brought up I can't remember who it was, but brought up the nine, and this morning I did these 2 tarot cards with this friend of mine, and I kept getting 9s, and we're in this room and it's 9, and that sense of yes, there is a completion, and there's an opening, and we have the chance of being in this communion of love and loving intent, and softening so that we can receive these whatever source codes, if you will, and I feel like, and maybe Henry will confirm this, is it's just these source codes are it's the water speaking. We can listen, and we can know how to move, and we can know how to ripple. And before I complete, I just want to really thank the elementals and the whale children. They've been, it's been really hard since I left Australia, in New Zealand, but primarily Australia right now, and the whales have been speaking, and I feel that's really an important time to really listen to their messages as well. So with that, Lori, do you want to share anything before you jump off? I'm seeing Lori jump off. So you can take yourself off mute if you want. I know Lori, I just want to honor Lori as one of our Loving Waters. She's got to go. Okay, so I'm going to just honor you. So Lori Wind lives in Sarasota, Florida. She's really been a part of our Loving Waters full moon blessings there. She works with the Red Tent Sisters, and she's been doing some amazing work. And we're really grateful to have her as part of this Loving Waters, Water Guardian Council. So thank you, Lori. And I'm complete and love you all, and yum, blessings.
Well, I will take this opportunity to share a little. Actually, in a certain way, I feel a little out of my element. I don't necessarily identify and focused on water so much, and maybe more feeling as a water bearer. Although, so it's great to be immersed with you and experience to round out, to open that doorway and stepping into that realm. I guess someone mentioned the unexpected. And there's a wonderful quote in a book by Lauren Isley called The Unexpected Universe. And it's from a Greek philosopher. It said, if you do not expect the unexpected, you may never find it, for it is both subtle and difficult. And I really like that, because we are opening, or what I hear and being immersed here is opening to new realms, opening to the subtleties. And if we, and I feel, everyone who has spoken is very much connected to those subtle realms, and just opening to the doorways of delight, the doorways of joy that I experience with nature spirits in general. I did 2 shamanic journeys in a program that I was in the Alps in Switzerland. And we did initiations into each of the elements, including for the water, the wondrous mountain streams. And we also tuned into the flowers, the trees, the mountains. And it was such an opening that was so important to me. Actually, when I did a journey, a past life journey with a friend through a transformation program in a community that I lived in, it was actually an offshoot at the Findorn community, that we, with partners, we went back into past lifetimes. And the woman that I was doing that with, we were there for each other. Then we each connected with a past life that we were nature spirits. So it's so interesting. Part of me still doesn't fully believe that, but I feel like my last name is Leffler. I joked around when I did some substitute teaching in a 3rd grade classroom, and came in on St. Patrick's Day. And the teacher was reading to one of the children during the lunchtime. And so I said my name, that Lepler, my last name, is short for leprechaun. So the teacher built on that. She actually had one of the girls make a name tag for me that said Lepler, but when it opened up, it said leprechaun, so using the letters. But anyway, so it's wonderful to be immersed here with you today. element in sense of creating a womb-like environment, which is basically is so much composed of water to help to birth the new, to what is emerging, what is unexpected, because what is emerging is new and it's unexpected. So, so that's what's coming out now. I have an instrument in front of me that's called, it's a small monochord that I use. It can be placed on the body. And I took a couple trainings with the teacher, is actually the wife of the fellow who makes them in Germany. And in the trainings, we open to the water element as a key place where our consciousness is when we're doing that. And this is placed on the body, so there's the direct contact of the vibrations. So I haven't really been so involved in other things. I haven't used it so much recently. But I think I'll share a little bit. I'm not sure how the sound is through, if that's okay. Good. You can. Maybe just imagine in water. Maybe that's still water station, one of those places, or more than one of the places where we were taken in that meditation. Maybe you're a drop of water in a cave. And there is a shimmering glow, a very subtle shimmering glow on that water and on the walls of that cave. That connect with you, and they return a memory. A deep, maybe long forgotten memory. When you knew water so well. When you could feel the water shimmering and dancing and playing joyfully. When it resonated immediately into your heart and into your child spirit, telling you of its mysteries. Whispering in your ear. And it's telling you now messages that will help you to even be more deeply immersed and empowered in your water journey, your water bearer missions. Coleman.
And on that note, I must follow the wind and leave you all with this vibration of love and blessings for this glorious day and all the ways it's awakening in us, this remembrance of the water, the love that we are. Thank you all for holding this space, and I look forward to connecting again. Now I must go. The wind calls me. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
See you soon, California coast. So I also see that Charlie Riverman and Kathleen Rouleau, beautiful water guardians, are with us. And we've all been sharing and deepening into this beautiful sound bath of voice and song. So if you feel like sharing, and please join us, and yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm in my car at the Salmon Falls River in South Berwick, Maine, on my way back from Tai Chi. So I'm blessed. You may be able to hear the falls in the background. And if not, that's okay. They're beautiful. And the sound bath, the little bit I heard was just absolutely marvelous. And thank you. And glad to be here today. It's been a busy sort of week of blessings. I walked with Carol Bludgett on her Water is Life walk this week, and we did an amazing ceremonies on the Merrimack River, where she carried water from the headwaters all the way to the ocean. And it will finalize tonight at 9 o'clock with a fire ceremony. But it's been a month-long journey for her, and I just want to thank her and all the people that showed up along her path along the river. Kathleen, as a matter of fact, Kathleen Willow and I both walked with her on Thursday. So I just want to say how blessed I am to be a part of Loving Waters, to be here blessing the water both within us, around us, and throughout the universe, really. I send my love all the way through the universe to all water, wherever it is. And it's a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight. So with that, I'm just I'm pretty much complete, as this is my virgin experience with an iPhone in the car and Zoom. So, and for those of you who know me, I'm not technically too hip sometimes. So it's working. Thank you. I love you all. Bless you. Good to be here.
I'm very happy to be in your territory, Charlie. I know you're close.
Yes, good to have you here in Maine, Elizabeth. You aren't too far away at all. Exactly.
I just wanted to acknowledge Henry. That was so beautiful. It was very deep, and I'm very drawn to the pictures behind you. It looks like dolphins in light. Is that right? They just look as though they're leaping in the light. The dolphin, the picture on the wall behind you.
Yes, it is dolphins.
Yeah. And for me, that journey went into the whales. So it was in the caverns and then deep within the ocean. So it was really quite extraordinary. Yeah, really quite amazing. And I also want to say, Kathleen, lovely to see you joining us. And it looks like it's a bit difficult for you to actually hear or to speak. Yeah. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Put your hand up if you can hear. Okay, good. But you can't speak. Can you speak to us? Okay, right. We'll just see your beautiful face. There's lots of amazing expressions coming from you. Oh, there we are. We can hear you. There.
Oh my
It's your
God!
turn.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, greetings. Hello. It is so good to actually be seen and heard. Technology is not my thing, and I'm constantly getting frustrated, which makes it harder for me to figure out what I need to do. To be able to see you and hear you, and thank you. I am in space in between. I just spent 3 days in the woods doing ceremony, and just spent all last night doing a ceremony with Nana Wilma from Guatemala, a Mayan grandmother, doing an all-night fire for the eclipse. And then it ended with me with a water ceremony with a different grandmother. And I am just sitting here because I needed to connect with you. And I'm running in between different ceremonies that are happening. And I'm on my way to go spend some more time with Carol Bludgett, who was walking Franconia Notch, Merrimack River to Salisbury. And she's ending it tonight at a farm in Newburyport, and I'm on my way there now. But I wanted to say I needed to connect with all of you. And I'm very grateful. Actually, you can hear me, and I can see you.
Yeah, a simple technological unmuting really helps. So, Kathleen, first of all, I just want to say, everyone, Kathleen's incredible. I got to meet her in person, and this is the beauty of technology, that, you know, we do get to meet each other, and we get to hone in on, you know, virtually, and then we get to meet each other, and there's something very magical about that. And I guess it was a week ago, I don't even know how long ago, we just did a water blessing in Kennebunk together, Charlie, and really the day before that we met with Jim, who's just popping in again. So, but Kathleen, I just have a quick question. Did you say she started in Franconia?
Yes, Franconia Notch, New Hampshire is where Carol started from, yes.
Okay, so here's really something really, really important. Since she's ending, is it tonight or tomorrow?
Tonight.
Okay, so we are headed to Franconia Notch tomorrow morning, first thing, or sometime after we meet with the spring here. We will be near the headwaters. I didn't realize that Franconia Notch was the headwaters of the Merrimack, and I better get my little geographical head in place, my watershed brain understanding tuned up here. So please share with her that we're with her, and that's really Franconia Notch is which is in New Hampshire, for those of you who are in England and wherever you are. It's the White Mountains, and it taps into Mount Washington and the Saco River, and obviously the Merrimack. So, and what's really interesting is these waters are very tapped. You know, they connect with the waters where we are in Poland, Maine, and also taps into a very legendary indigenous woman named Molly Ockett, who was known as the medicine woman of this area. And she would walk those waters, and she kayaked and canoed in those waters, bringing her medicine to both Native Americans and white men. And that was how her legend was really carried. And I feel like it's really appropriate and important that this conversation is cycling around right now, because, you know, as a part of this conversation, for those of you just getting on, we were talking about obviously the shadows because of the solar eclipse. But this relationship between all nations, this relationship that this woman who walked those waters that Carol Blodgett are walking, and the indigenous grandmothers that you're with, Kathleen, I think this is a very important moment in this call, you know, this acknowledgement of those who lived in peace and who wanted peace and who worked for peace and understood both the darkness and the light, but held to the truth of the light, held to the truth of love. And as Tracy originally was sharing in the beginning of this call, and so I call that forth within this call. I call that forth within each and every person here on this call, that we carry this frequency of love through our waters out, you know, upon moving out from this call. And I call on one other thing, which is to call all aspects of self, all disparate energies that are wanting to come home, wanting to belong as a whole, that tonight we hold within this confluence of energy, wholeness, you know, that which we really are. You know, when you think of the earth, oh my God, there's so much I could say, because now I'm thinking about, you know, when we were at scans and in Australia, and how some of the indigenous elders were really talking about the rivers, and the rivers being the veins of Gaia, you know, the movement. We talked about the blood tonight. And so this holding this frequency of wholeness for each and every person on the planet, and that beautiful understanding that these ancient cultures have held for eons. So with that, I thank you so much. I'm just really excited, and we still have a few minutes, and so just watching the time. We have about 15 more minutes, so please feel free to come back in and sing more of this magistry, and also share any water wisdom practices that you're finding are, you know, just really touching you, so that we can carry them within this collective heart. So with that, I'm complete.
I'd love to sing you something I wrote during the Lion's Gate, and it's not the song I sung at the water today. But I was during the Lion's Gate learning to the summer in the Sufi dancing with a wonderful teacher called Banafsheh in the Alps in Switzerland, and hearing the Alps invoked and the running waters of Switzerland around Brienz. It's just such an incredibly fresh, clear place. So it's a very simple song, but it really is about holding this love. And if my internet connection doesn't hold and it just sounds like a garbled robot, you know, just tell me. Don't just endure it.
I'll just leave the room.
You don't know. Okay. Living is a language of love. Living is a language of love. Down from the blue star, descending Osiris, blazing into the heart of the earth. Remembrance returning, these fires are burning. Bless the song of the rivers, this mistress of speech. Living is a language of love. She said, my name is Sienna, Sierra, the Seine is flowing. She said, my name is Sienna, Sierra, the Seine is flowing. These bells mean something, you know they do. They're waking you, waking, kissing the dreaming you. These bells speak intimately to you, inside you, outside you, moving you through. Living is a language of love. I'm here to stand up, I'm ready. I feel it in my bones and they know it. I'm here already. Your heart and your movement, your being, it shows it. A language of love. Keep this fire burning, your rose unfolding, your electric body rising and diving, an open door for a sister, a brother, each one a letter, each one a key. Living is a language of love.
Don't know about you guys, but I've got tears flowing. But yes. Oh, okay.
Reminds me of a Rumi poem. I don't remember the whole thing. But it's about the seawater crying for the pearl to crack open its shell, to the leave the language door and close the language door and open the love window.
Oh, that's nice.
As the moon never comes in through the door, only through the window.
Like the cat.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Oh. I don't know what to say. I think sometimes language doesn't express. I think, yeah.
That's silence, and we can.
Yeah.
Speaking about silence.
We've both been chatting a lot about how important silence is. But it's that embodiment, it's that connectivity that if we're open to it, I think if we're willing to risk that love, it's I just recently have been thinking, that there's that thought that there is only two choices in a way of living, and that's fear or love. And I don't know, it's probably a quote from somewhere, but it's that taking the risk to love and trusting in that. And I think Kate's beautiful song articulates much of that.
It's just really making me think about teenagers again. And I remember on the Eclipse of 99 as a teenager, me and my best friend, we ran off to Dover. We didn't tell anyone where we were going. We took a hip flask of whiskey or something and went to witness the eclipse and took off all our clothes, leapt in the sea, and then we hitchhiked back. And we were sitting in this car, and the woman in front who was driving, she just turned to us and she said, "My God, I remembered my dream. And it just, again and again, I remember that what I'm coming into now, I knew as an 18-year-old, I did not know how to live it. And it's like the Parsifal myth, when you have that feeling of coming into being. And then I lived for about a decade thinking that I had really lost something. And I just so clearly have this wish and want and desire to enable teenagers and young people to know that they can step into it now, that this gate is open. And I think to just form we're all part of this weave, but a web to encourage that and make that possible. And I feel it's such a so heinous when people talk about teenagers as if they're stupid, or young people as if they're all doomed. It's like such a failure of how we can be so in touch. So I don't know, that's what I felt watching those teenagers jump off the cliff. And we're always jumping off cliffs all through our lives, but my God, it's like a wisdom culture can come if we help it, if we hold it, if we're there for each other. And if we think that younger people they don't have to go through like there was many years I had where I was very out of touch. And I don't think that's a necessary thing to do. I don't think it's going to help Gaia. So, yeah.
I keep thinking about a process I've been going through with a relative of disparate energy, and learning to love more. What's the answer? Love more. Just love more. Love more. Whatever it is, we keep loving more. And the layers of that, the layers that takes us in our life whenever we're faced with anything that is and like the young man on the bus, I open the space for us to be loving and to talk about love and to help him acknowledge his own ability to love more, and thus mine, to not just sit on the bus not talking. Yeah, and that's what I'm really hearing in this call tonight is all of us really being committed to that. It's beautiful.
Can I say something? It's Kathleen.
Please.
Just listening, from the song and then the share and then the other share and then what you're sharing now, there are points in time that I've called in and listened, because for the past couple of years, I've touched space and then I walk away because I have other things that I'm doing. And each time I come back, I'm reminded a little bit more of the brilliance 3 miles ahead. Yes, 3 miles ahead. That, thank you, slow traffic. Right, thank you, slow traffic. So my point, that's my point, is that I'm walking and I'm seeing you and I'm hearing you and I'm listening to you, and that part of me that's frustrated and swears and gets tilted off Peter, and then I come back and then I see you and I see you and you and you, and thank you. Because there are absolutely I feel inadequate to the task, but I don't need to, because each one of you is showing me a piece. That's the heart of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I actually want to thank you. And it's for me, this time has been a time of actually seeds have been speaking to me. And we've just seen Seed, the Untold Story, but it is about developing curriculum for children about seeds. And it's almost like each of us are the seeds, the germ of the future, and each of us carries a different expression. And I just have this beautiful picture of within the seed is the tides of the water. Somebody in this beautiful curriculum we've just found, it's just like within the seed is the water. And it's also the expression, the unique expression. And what will come forth? We don't know. And each of those seeds that come from that being, whatever it will be, when it's been pollinated, will be different from that particular plant. It's, you think about an apple tree, that each apple will be slightly different and it will be taken somewhere else. And I just wanted to bring that in because the seeds have been so strong and it felt like it just followed on so beautifully, Kathleen, from what you said. And we are heirloom varieties, open pollinated. Definitely not genetically modified. we carry a true song, the song of the seed. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but hold on one second. Let's get Jim. So we're coming near to our close. I hate closures, but that's just the way it goes. But I see more spirals. But anyway, Jim, you've been with us for most of the call. I just want to give you an opportunity to share anything if you would like to. We love you, and you're doing amazing, amazing work on the planet. And he's been such a standing rock for Standing Rock and for the Water is Life movement, and he's traveling and doing shamanic work and offering water blessings to people. So are you there, and would you like to just put...
Yeah, I'm here, and I was getting dropped off, so I was back and forth, so I just silently listened and enjoyed. And I'm heading back towards Colorado now. Probably be there by the weekend. I want to check out some different waters along the way. And I guess so. Well, since we saw you and Charlie work, so we haven't had to look for the water. The water's been calling us in, and I just love when that happens. It's great. So thank you all. I've totally enjoyed listening tonight. I don't usually get a chance to just quietly listen, so this was wonderful. Thank you, and blessings to all of you, and see you again soon.
Love you, Jim.
So Elizabeth's going to close our call, and just flowing gratitude.
So this is the complete Rumi poem. There is some kiss we want with our whole lives, the touch of spirit on the body. Seawater begs the pearl to break open its shell, and the lily, how passionately it needs some wild darling. At night, I open the window and ask the moon to come and press its face into mine. Breathe into me. Close the language door and open the love window. The moon won't use the door, only the window. That was the moon today.
So blessings, everyone. Nothing more to say. We are love. Love you. We love us.
Love you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Ah.
Beautiful.
Bye, beautifuls.
Lovely to see you.
Stay in touch through Loving Waters on Facebook so that we can see you and play and share your water wisdom. And we'll be back for the full moon gathering. And yeah, just magic to you all. Aho.
Aho.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hug.
Love you.
Hug,
See you.
hugs.